Hi, I want to talk a little bit today about signs from our loved ones. Do they really send us signs? The answer is absolutely yes. Okay, they can send a variety of different ways to us. It could be through our dreams. People often ask me, are dreams real? And I always say, yes, they are. Our loved ones come through in our dreams. And I always say it's a great thing when I hear of a loved one that came in a dream, because I always say that is definition and absolutely that they crossed into the light. If they didn't cross into their light, they wouldn't be able to come back and forth. That's the difference between an earthbound spirit who's stuck here and a spirit that's crossed into the light. So when our loved ones have crossed into the light, they have carte blanche to come back and forth, and it's wonderful. Usually when they come in a dream, it's the most unstartling, much more gentlest way. So we aren't going to be scared, okay? And they try to do it that way. So when they do come into a dream and you don't know what that means, sometimes I have people that will come and they'll see me, and then I make contact with them, and it all comes together. There's different ways for our loved ones to show us signs each and every day. It could be through a song that you and your loved one always loved, and at that moment you hear it. That's your loved one saying, hey, remember this? I had two clients, they were two sisters, and they came to see me, and they wanted to make contact with their loved ones. Well, one sister was married and the other one wasn't, but she wanted to hear about her mother, and vice versa. It was such a beautiful session, and they were just two amazingly sweet ladies. But at the end of the session, we said our goodbyes, and as they were ready to go, I look over to the chair where the one woman who was married and wanted to make contact with her husband, and what is on the table but a white feather? So I immediately called them back, and if they could come. They thought that they forgot something, but they came back, and I said, what do you see on the table? And she looked and she goes, oh my God. And I said, there's your proof right there. This is confirmation that your husband was here, okay? We made contact with him, but he left you a lasting remembrance. She went over and she picked up that feather and she put it gently in her hand, and she just melted. So was that confirmation from her husband saying, I love you, I'm here, I'm watching? Absolutely. Had another reading where a daughter wanted to make contact with her father, and I kept seeing a blue jay just keep flying. I says, I don't know what this means, but I keep seeing a blue jay. And she goes, wow, that's a really weird thing for you to see. And she goes, well, how often are you seeing it? I said, it's pretty prevalent. I says, I keep seeing a blue jay, so why do I keep seeing that? And she says, my father's name was Jay, and his favorite bird was the blue jay. I says, your father's here. So, you can get, people ask me, what about pennies from heaven? What about coins? Yeah, all of those things. We seem to get the signs when we're missing them and feeling the most down, because we need them, we need to feel them. And these confirmations are real, where sometimes you'll just out of the clear blue sky, you're going to be in a grocery store and all of a sudden you're going to smell your loved one's cologne. Okay, just out of the clear blue sky. So yes, these are all our messages from our loved ones, and they're pretty special gifts. Take them seriously. They're with us, and they are always reminding us that they're not far away. All right, until next time, bye-bye.